Hi, hello, good evening. In front of me, I have a jigsaw. Now, on the crunch, on, I can never say the word, so I'll use a different one. So, regardless of what people may say or think, jigsaws, just like colouring books, are an excellent pastime no matter how old you are. Now, when I was at school, I'm going back over 20 years, there was three things I wanted to do with my life. Maybe a few more than three, but a lot of them kind of intertwined with each other. One was to be a journalist, which I was unable to do because of my dyslexia being so severe. Then I wanted to be a famous chef and work on like the QE2 ferries or the P&O cruise liners, that sort of thing. But again, because of my dyscalculia and my dyslexia, it made it very difficult for me to achieve that goal because I wasn't able to read the recipes and keep to the actual times that it takes to cook things. So I'm okay with prep in a kitchen, but not timing. Then it was marine and freshwater biology, but again, my maths and my English was very detrimental to that. I did used to scuba dive, but I can't anymore because I have intracranial hypertension, which I am very lucky I did find out that I had before I embarked on scuba diving again. Art for me was never going to be a career. I always looked at art as one of those things that you would do in your pastime, your spare time. It was never something I was genuinely ever going to be able to make any money from. But I did do textiles at school and I did look at working in the fashion industry. So again, I was saying to my teachers, one of the things I want to do is design my own clothes range for people that are either, coming back from the war and need clothes that are easier to put on because they're an amputee, or for people that have disabilities. So instead of having buttons, you may put press studs on clothes. Or if you had a zip, what kind of zip would you use? If you had trousers that you had to put on with a prosthetic leg, would you go for something like cargo trousers, which are very similar to what you wear when you go for walks, but they're not very formal. You could tell straight away that they are walking trousers as opposed to trousers you may necessarily wear with a three-piece suit if you were going to a formal event. And straight away, I was told by my teachers, don't be so stupid, you're a fucking idiot. You wouldn't think a teacher would say that to a 15-year-old child, but hey, it's 2026, let's face it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of children out there that as much as they swear at their teachers, that the teachers behind closed doors give as good as they get. All right, I was a student once. I know exactly how teachers can behave. So, and then another thing I looked at doing was inventing my own colouring books. Sorry, I've just had to pop my ears. Since having this flu, I keep getting I think it's called glue ear. So there's a lot of pressure in my ears at the moment. So feel like when I'm talking, I feel like I'm sounding like I'm under the sea. So again, I said, okay, I'm looking at making my own colouring books. Colouring books seem to be something a lot of people are always into. And again, I was told as a student, that'll never happen. That is stupid. It's not a good idea. You're never going to make any money from it. And look at how many colouring books there are now for sale everywhere. It doesn't matter which shop you go into, they will have a colouring book. And they have colouring books of everything imaginable. My children had one with swear words in that they got from my next door neighbour as a joke. It went in the bin. Okay, I don't need my 7-year-old saying, you fucking knob jockey, because he's colouring it in a colouring book. I had somebody give me a colouring book that was about dogs' buttholes. I am not joking. It was literally dogs with their arsehole on display for you to colour in. Yeah, so once colouring books started to take off again, you had everybody in the nation doing them. You had the Harry Potter colouring book, the Disney colouring book, the Stay Calm and carry on colouring book. You name it, there is a colouring book for everything. Okay? Even, I can't even think of anything, but something really, really bizarre. Believe me, there will be a colouring book for it out there. So again, 15 years old, I know, I'm going to make my own colouring books. I'm going to sell them. No, you're not. That's not going to work. The only reason most of these people are so successful, I might want to add, is because everything's manufactured in China and then flies halfway around the world, and then people buy it for 99p in Poundland. Or you go to the works and they're 15 quid. So it's one of them. So anyway, getting back to jigsaws. Jigsaws, you can make and design your own. Believe it or not. Yes, you can. And I almost said something, but I wasn't going to say it now. So get that image out of my head. So anyway, jigsaws. They are a perfect pastime for anyone, no matter how old you are, just like colouring books. Now, even when I went to Astley Castle or I've used Airbnbs in the past, there will always be a box, very similar to the one I've got here. And in that box, if you want to be a Pandora and you open it to see what's inside, hopefully nothing evil's going to come out. You know, they've not got like a rat infestation or something, and you open the box and there's like field mice burrowing and making a nest inside, which, believe me, has happened to people when they have stayed on farms or been in rural locations. So you will always find colouring books, you will always find jigsaws and board games and pack of cards. Okay, trust me, if you're going anywhere in the world as a traveller or with your friends, family, always carry a pack of cards with you. All right, believe me, they are the most perfect icebreaker. It doesn't matter what language somebody speaks, you show them a pack of cards and before you know it, you'll probably find, if you're really good at poker and they know how to play it, it'll be them that will be leaving without their socks and shoes or their money that they've took with them on their holiday, not you. And hopefully that'll be all that you'll lose. But anyway, so a pack of playing cards. So getting back to jigsaws. This jigsaw I have in front of me is actually a vintage jigsaw. I can't remember when I brought it. It came as a job lot. Some of the others that it came with were these little cat jigsaws here. They are absolutely beautiful. It's still in their box, which means they will retain a certain amount of value if you were looking at selling them. And these ones are actually made of wood. And when you look at the information on the puzzle box, I'll just turn it round, it actually says wooden jigsaw puzzle. And that is the company that made and manufactured them. Big mistake. Don't ever put sellotape on jigsaw boxes or on any boxes. All right, it will tear and it will rip off. So because that's already on there, I'm going to leave it. But what will eventually happen is the sellotape will start to degrade because the glue that it's on will no longer be adhesive. So the best thing to do is just to leave that, wait for it to completely dry out itself, and then when it does, it has already, it will just come off like this. Okay, but if you ever purchase a box with sellotape on, the best thing to do is to just get a knife and slide it across where the box opens. With this one, it opens from here. So there's like a flap as opposed to the whole of the lid coming off. Just gently slice across where the sellotape is. Do not try and rip the sellotape off because it will damage the box, and that's the last thing you want to do. So with this, I mean, you can clearly and concisely see the make, the model, and the size. Now, jigsaws like this, or any jigsaws, you will have people that will say, to keep them in the box, they're fun, they're great, they're fantastic. But believe me, when you have finally finished a jigsaw that has over 1,000 pieces that are so microscopic, the last thing you want to do is put it back in the bloody box. or you find that one piece is missing. Oh my God, it's like end of the world, believe me. I've had it with my children. So there are ways of not putting the jigsaw back in the box if you choose not to, and to frame them. So I would say any jigsaw with pieces over 1,000, you would probably, if you were happy with the image, you may look at framing. Or even something small like this, 20 pieces in a frame. This would be absolutely beautiful. But again, because it is small, it's one of those little activities, providing you don't lose the pieces, that can just go straight back in the box and be done over and over and over again. I remember when I was a child, I always went to my granddad's every weekend, and there was only one jigsaw that I was allowed to do. It was the only one in the house, and every weekend I would go to his house and I would sit there on the floor, regardless of what anyone else was doing, and I would literally just take this jigsaw out of the box, and I would do the same one again and again and again and again. And I remember it having monkeys in it. And looking back, and now you would think, hang on a minute, what child in their right mind would be happy to do the same jigsaw again and again and again and again every single weekend? But I guess back then, you know, we didn't have a television. We didn't have all these other media distractions. And I guess what it also showed was that by me being happy to do that jigsaw again and again and again, that it was clearly signs or indication of, you know, hidden traits of SEN needs or autism. Because even my children, who have been diagnosed with autism, sensory processing disorder, ADHD, the things they want to do are very repetitive. And you think to yourself, oh my God, you did that yesterday, can't you do something else? But to them, they don't think that way. And I guess that's kind of how I know now as an adult, me wanting to constantly do the same jigsaw all the time was a way of me maybe telling my parents that, you know, hang on a minute, if I'm that obsessed, or I wouldn't say I was obsessed, but I knew it was something I loved doing and I wanted to do it again and again and again, that maybe there was a sign of an underlining, you know, SEN needs. And the other thing I love about jigsaws as well is they are great for people if they're struggling with manual dexterity. So when small children are trying to learn what is called the pincer grip, which is what my middle child still struggles with today, and that is the pincer grip movement, I will give him beads. So like beads like this that are from necklaces. If they break, I'll make him re-thread them, and then he'll get a treat. But doing jigsaws, he loves doing jigsaws, but what he doesn't like doing after them is putting the pieces away. So over the last 10 years, I've probably thrown away at least 1,000 jigsaws. And thinking to myself now, I'm cringing when I'm thinking of this, because some of them were absolutely gorgeous.